this is a question for Colin. I was wondering, in the last episode of last series in second series, you had to learn to speak the dragon. I wonder if learning the language that she made up was difficult or not.
Yes, the spell that they give me for the Dragon Lord spell was literally given to me that morning. Whenever I had to learn it, so I was spending hours just going over it and over it. And it's actually the one in the episode is actually shorter. I shortened it for the episode because it was really long. But it's a different. Yeah, it's the regular spells that I do are Old English, and that one was Old German, I think. So it was a bit different. So, but yeah, the guests who come onto the show think I'm the fount of spell knowledge, but I try to offer what advice I can.
That might be because they ask me and I just direct them immediately to you. Yeah. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
There's actually we were contacted by somebody in America who's actually studying the spells of Merlin and is part of their degree course.
That's pretty cool. Okay, we have a young lady here. What would you like to ask?
I just want to say that I drew some pictures for the cast of Merlin.
So if you want to follow me quickly.
Thank you.
So she has some little pictures she's drawn herself.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
They're really good, thank you. It's very kind.
Okay.
We'll give this one to Bradley when we see him, I promise.
Thank you very much.
There you are.
It's awesome.
Talented little artist in the making, I think.
You've made me look better than I do, thank you. Every girl loves that.
Yeah, it's better than
Right, we go back to a question here.
This one's more for Colin. Does Bradley James actually act like off screen what he does on screen? Like, does he treat you like a servant?
Next question. Right, okay.
Do we have an opportunity because Bradley's not here?
Yeah, slag him off. No, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't make me open doors for him and serve his food, so it's all good.
Just wondering, how much have you changed in personality and stuff as you've been filming all the series?
Colin's a total diva now. He never used to be. No, he's not really. He's not.
Thanks, Angel.
I think I'm probably best to answer that question. When these three actors first joined Merlin, they were very, very humble, sweet human beings, and now I've created these three terrible monsters. No, actually, I'm joking. When you cast a show, you always look for good personalities as well, and people that you think will work well in a team. And I always thought that all of the actors, the young cast, had a real potential to work well in a team, and they've proved that. Not only proved that they're really good actors, but proved that they're good team players.
Right, we have a question from a young lady here.
In the very first scenes of Merlin, how comfortable were all of you working?
Absolutely. Knees knocking, shaking, petrified.
Yeah,
They're scary people.
Everyone's very friendly and welcoming and nice, but I think the first day on any job is always completely terrifying, and you always just think that you can't actually act, and it was a complete fluke that you got the job in the first place and that you're just a fraud.
Absolutely, and they'll look at the rushes and then they'll realise they made a huge mistake, and you'll get a phone call the next day and it's like, sorry, we've decided to go another way. But thankfully.
Another question from the back here.
Hello.
Hello.
If you could switch characters with one of your fellow actors for the day, which would it be?
I'd want to be Arthur so I could swing a sword around.
I'd want to be Uther so I could rule.
I'd be Gaius so I could get all the ladies. Secret little ladies man in Camelot.
It's true.
Well, if I could be one of the guys, I'd obviously be Merlin so I could magic myself out of all the production nightmares.
I'm Jasmine, and I have a question for Angel. I'd like to say first that I really like your hair. But, who do you think that Gwen prefers out of Lancelot and Arthur?
I genuinely think that she kind of has a huge affection for both of them, and it's a real struggle for her because she's such a kind of kind-hearted person. She'd never want to hurt either of them, and I think she's never kind of considered before that men would have been interested in her, and all of a sudden she's got these two like hunks who like her a lot, and I think she kind of sees different things in each of them. I think probably the more realistic coupling would be, in her mind, would be Lancelot and herself because of the whole status issue. But I think she genuinely kind of loves them both. But obviously she doesn't see Lancelot that much, so she kind of has to, rely on Arthur.
Nice. Right, we've got some young ladies here with a couple of questions for you, rather aptly dressed.
Cool.
This is a question for Angel and Katie. Out of all the costumes you wear, which ones would you like to keep?
I want to keep Katie's, but I'm not allowed.
I want to keep all of mine.
Yeah.
But I always say, and I've said it before, that the day I get married is going to be a sad day because I'm never going to do any better than the dresses I get to wear on a daily basis in the show. So.
Okay, well, I know you've all done stage performance and TV performance, and I wanted to know the differences and which you prefer.
I think they're kind of very different animals. Just in terms of, for example, on stage you get a lot more rehearsal time. You get kind of a longer period of time to build a character. I suppose it's kind of it's similar with Merlin in that we've had a long period of time to kind of build up our characters and stuff. But you obviously don't get the live buzz when you're doing television. It's all kind of quite kind of quick and much more technical often than doing theatre.
I've never done theatre, so can't tell you. Sorry.
I don't find that the actual acting part of it's too much different. Your preparations and emotionally and how you prepare. I don't find that different. It's the technical things that are different. And as Angel was saying, you're more aware that there's a camera there but yeah, other than that, there's not huge difference acting wise.
Okay, we have a question over here. We've got a young lady.
Hello.
Hi.
If you weren't actors, what would you like to be?
I've literally only ever wanted to do acting, and I suppose when you go through school and you're told that that's not realistic or that's not possible, you're sort of forced to think up of other things, and I used to always say journalism and or arts correspondence or something like that, something related to the arts in a way. But acting was always what I wanted to do.
I think I'd like to have been a mixture of Simon Shammer, Antonia Fraser, and Howard Zinn, and sit in a room all day with books and write about dead people. Yeah.
I think I'd definitely have to do something creative because I'm definitely more creatively minded than academically. I'm maybe a musician, maybe write music or something.
Okay. And we have a question from a young lady here.
Hi, it's a question for Katie. I know you've worked as a costume before you turned into acting. How did you find the transition between those two different careers?
Massively surreal. I went from one day holding an umbrella over an actress's head to the next day literally standing there with somebody doing the same to me. And half the time I still think I'm back there. I remember one of my first weeks on Merlin, one of the ADs ripped her coat and I pulled it off her and I sat there in full costume sewing it up for her. She couldn't do it. But I think I'm having more fun doing this. Surprise, surprise.
Okay, we have a question from a young gentleman here.
Hi, I was just wondering if the Doctor and Merlin have sort of the same sort of ideas. Who would win between the Doctor and Merlin?
Merlin.
No contest there. None.
I don't know, who do you think?
Who would win, the Doctor or Merlin?
Yeah, like in the Merlin camp.